Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Business. Today, I am joined by an executive of Sullivan Tire, Paul Sullivan. Paul, welcome to the show.
Sean, thanks for having me and Sullivan Tire.
Glad to have you. So, for those who don't know, who is Paul Sullivan?
Paul Sullivan is one of 10 Sullivans whose father, and I like to say father, but I'm going to include my mother, started Sullivan Tire in 1955.
Wow.
And to be exact, April 1st of 1955. So we're about 6 weeks away from celebrating our 70th anniversary.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And so how did the business get started? You said your mother and father?
Yeah, my father worked for a national tire company. And it was right at the very beginning of 1955. And late in the day, he got a call from corporate headquarters in Akron, Ohio, saying, you're going to have to lay 3 of your people off. And he said to himself, oh boy, I got to ponder this decision. It's one that I know I cannot make. I don't want to make, because these people have helped me realize the American dream, and that is moving into the country. So on his way home that night through the town of Rockland, he comes to a stop sign, and he sees a sign, business for rent, 2 doors down. He went and knocked on the door, and Mrs. Washburn had just lost her husband, who owned Washburn Tire Company. And she said, well, you can rent the business, but all the work has to be done outdoors. There's no indoors. There's no pulling the car in. You can just use the inside for storage of tires. He went home that night and he said to my mother, let's go into business for ourselves, because I'm not firing anybody. The next day he gave his notice. Started the business, Sullivan Tire. That was April 1st, 1955.
Wow.
So, Sean, we stayed in that building on a dead-end street in Rockland until 1971. 16 years of just building a brand very slowly based on customer service and word of mouth. In those days, traditional media, you could not afford having just a small garage, and a dilapidated garage at that. But slowly we just built it one customer at a time. People appreciated the fact that you were doing the work outdoors. And they were inside trying to stay warm, waiting for their car. You always knew they were in a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
And slowly it just started to spread and throughout all the adjacent towns, whether it be Norwell or Weymouth. And of course, Weymouth had the military base, the naval base, which was very active in those days. Mm-hmm. So that was a good base of potential customers. So slowly we were able to grow the business. We went from Rockland to Norwell in the very end of 71. Then to Plymouth, then to Brockton, Norwood, and I can go on and on. Today, we have 132 locations.
That's incredible.
And we attribute it all to the wonderful people on the South Shore who know how hard it is to be in business today. They appreciate the fact that you support the communities in which you serve, and communities beyond where we have locations. Mm. And also recognizing that you're treating people fairly. I mean, in business today is a lot like life. You just have to be good to people.
Absolutely.
You know, no one's going to get it perfect all the time.
Right.
But when you don't, you better listen. And we're hands-on. And, you know, when your name's on the building, you want to make sure that people are being treated the way you'd treat a family member.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And kind of speaking to that, like when you expand from like, very intimate family-run business, 1, 2, maybe 3 locations to now 100 plus.
Right.
How do you keep that family feeling with it?
That's a good question, Sean. I think it's demonstration. But by the same token, you have to understand that everybody goes home on Friday with a paycheck.
That's right.
It's an important part of the week.
Right.
And it's an important part and a necessary part of people's future, families. So in a sense, you're responsible for people.
Mm-hmm.
So you should pay them good wages, good working conditions, great benefits, and we have all that. And when you're doing that and you're going out and visiting the stores and giving people a pat in the back and thanking them, I think after a while they recognize that. Now, you still have some turnover. It's, 1,600 employees today, certainly do. But today, I think people start to realize it more and more. And it's far beyond the Sullivans today.
Mm-hmm.
We have all types of supervisors and people who have been with us 40 and 50 years, still working. But they're leaders. Their leadership is imperative for us to continue to grow. So we're looking forward to the future.
That's wonderful. And speaking of the future, recently you mentioned off camera that you had sold the business to the employees. How do you think that's going to transform the business going forward? Right,
Sean. Sean, in the tire and automotive industry, there was a tremendous amount of M&A going on, mergers and acquisitions, consolidation, big consolidation. And we were getting a lot of phone calls. And people were wondering, well, maybe the Sullivans will sell out. They're getting older. And some of the offers were just mind-boggling. But when you think about it, it was about greed. And it's just not the type of people we are or we were going to be. So we thought deeply and said, let's recognize the people once again, just the way the business started. Let's recognize the people who have put their hard work day in and day out in helping this company grow. So on October 30th of 2023, we became an ESOP, Employee Stock Ownership Plan. So today, 1,600 people are the owners of Sullivan Tire. The ESOP works similar to the 401k, although there's no investment from the employee. Each year, they receive a statement showing the amount of shares that you have, what the value is, and slowly that's going to ascend year in and year out. I know that. And it'll be something that once again is another hidden benefit, if you will, that helps them save and prepare themselves for buying a home, taking a vacation, helping their children go on to college, and insurance and medical needs and stuff like that. So we're thrilled with that. We still worry about the business each and every day. My brother Bob, he stayed on, and I'm involved. And my brother Bill and my brother Joe, they're still great ambassadors to the company. And after all, we're still Sullivan Tire.
Yeah, that's right. And you mentioned that there were 10 children. Is that what?
10 of us.
10 of you.
Yeah.
All of you have worked in or with the business at some point?
Yeah, pretty much. When we were younger, I mean, many just came over to clean or do something, but bookkeeping roles, if you will. But yeah, everybody. Today there's only 6 Sullivans. 4 have passed. And as I mentioned, just myself and my brother Bob are involved in the business. Yeah.
Now, over the years, almost 70 years in business, how has what you offer changed over that time period? Like, how has the auto industry for you guys evolved?
Well, the complexity of the automobile certainly has evolved and continues to do so. But when we first started, we were strictly tire repair, tire retreads, and new tires for those that could afford them. Today, we sell mostly new tires, passenger and light truck, commercial truck tires. And when I say commercial, Sean, I mean fleets like PA Landis or any big contractors, construction companies, Stop and Shop, FedEx, all the big fleets that you see. So we have 15 of those locations. We do truck tire retreading. We do off-the-road tires, which are mining tires. Just yesterday I saw that we sold 4 off-the-road tires for $20,000 a piece.
Wow.
That's a pretty good ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we mount those. We have people that are highly skilled. We have these wonderful vehicles. They're immense in size that are all robotics, pretty much. There's some manual operation to it, but there's no standing on the tire and swinging a hammer, breaking down beads and all the, like we did years and years ago.
Yeah.
And, of course, safety is paramount in this business. You got to be careful. So we do off-the-road business. We're one of the leading providers of automotive care, so preventive maintenance. We do anything that you can think of in the form of mechanical work. We sell and install automotive lifts and pneumatic systems. We do a lot of the car dealers. When you see a new car dealer going in, we probably put the lifts in and the pneumatic systems. So if you go in and you have a lube change or something like that, it's all done through hoses and pneumatic frame, if you will. And we've sold and installed it. We're very proud of it. In addition, we're a distributor of 17 brands of tires. Now, when I say a distributor, they are depending on us to be their distributor to car dealers, tire companies throughout New England. And we do that with, I think we have 18 wholesale centers throughout New England. We have some huge warehouses, up to 200,000 square feet.
Wow.
Filled to the brim with tires. Yeah. And, we have a lot of responsibility out there when you think of it. And then we have the state government, local municipalities that we supply tires to throughout New England, So when you see the state police going up and down Route 3, you can be sure they're on Sullivan tires. Yeah.
I love that.
And they're not going too fast.
No, of course not.
Right.
So, Paul, tell me about your role in the company. How has that evolved over the course of your life?
Well, Sean, when I first started, just like there were 7 of us, and we were doing the outdoor work. Then eventually I started to matriculate to truck tires, bigger tires, more of a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took a break, and Uncle Sam called me for a couple of years, you know. Then I came back, and I went right back into the running a commercial outlet, you know, for, as I mentioned, trucking fleets and stuff like that in Plymouth. And then we just started to market the company, and we were very rudimentary in our marketing efforts in those days. It was predominantly newspaper, you know, maybe some local radio. And so I took charge of that and just grown from there. Today, you know, we're on so many TV stations, the social media reach and influence we have today certainly helps. But once again, you have to have wonderful people that are engaged each day in making sure they're communicating properly to people. People deserve an answer, whether they're getting a flat repair or want to know more about the company or how you can possibly help them, you know. So communications is paramount too. Yeah.
And then most recently you were the VP of Marketing. Is that correct?
Yeah, I still hold that title, but it doesn't change what I do. You know, it's still to this day, I still am the spokesperson and continue to be on the commercials. We sponsor the Bruins, the Red Sox, the Patriots, the Celtics, college sports, Boston College, BU, University of Maine, University of New Hampshire. You'd have to give me another half hour if you want to know them all.
I know.
But we love, and high school sports as well.
Yeah.
You know, because it's pure. You know, it's pure. And they're not doing it for money. They're doing it for the pride of their family and their school.
The love of the game.
Love of the game. And right here in Marshfield, where I am today, they have a wonderful, wonderful reputation.
The community
in
really
athletics.
gets behind them. It's incredible.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's tremendous. As I was approaching here today, I saw Lou Sylvia drive.
Yeah.
And Lou Sylvia coached Marshfield when my son played for Whitman Hanson. And boy, Marshfield were tough in those days.
Still are.
Yeah, they still are. But that's tradition.
Yeah.
And you keep that through hard work and the young people believing in the leadership. And Coach Sylvia was a very good leader. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's still involved, believe it or not.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't get rid of him.
No, well, they shouldn't.
No.
You know? He's left his footprint.
Absolutely.
And fingerprints on this great athletic school.
You love to see it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I was going to say, anytime I watch one of the local sports, the Bruins, the Red Sox, whatever, I always see a Sullivan Tire commercial.
Oh, the Sullivan Tire commercial. And, of course, we do the weather in the morning and afternoon, and we have the little children say 128's a parking lot. And
Yeah.
that line is just stuck. And, you know, the one thing about television that we understand, I think we understand it pretty good, is that no one invites you into their living room. It's a very intrusive medium. So you better go in and leave something behind. And we do that almost in the form of entertainment. We're not shouting prices. We're not shouting we're the biggest, we're the best, we're the lowest. No. We let the children talk and be children. And the takeaway is enormous. The recall that people have. Oh, okay, I understand it. They're continuing to build the brand. And to this day, we do that. Yeah.
How people feel about you is really important.
Yeah, I think, once again, you're just like them. No bigger, no better. We all have to live in communities. We all work in communities. We all support communities. And at Sullivan Tire, we employ people who live in these communities. And they become consumers within the confines of whatever town he or she lives in. So that's an important part of the economics of the way a town operates.
So to kind of bring it back towards some of the business side of it, business is kind of a big part of it is partners, who you partner with, and who have some of the biggest or best partners for the Sullivan Tire been over the years?
Well, Goodyear Tire has been a wonderful partner. Goodyear, Yokohama, Michelin, Bridgestone. I can go through them all. I mean, they are depending on us to represent their product. And we do that through 3 channels. As I mentioned, we're in the retail business, consumer business. We're in the commercial business, which are the truck tires. And we're in the distribution business, where we sell and distribute tires to other dealerships like ourselves and car dealers as well. And that goes on throughout New England. Today, we have 132 locations. We have 1,600 people. And Sean, since we've become ESOP at the end of 2023, when we announced it, we've grown 10 locations. And that generates X amount of business. And the young people that are on this as owners now today and getting this statement will only see that statement grow and grow. And after 6 years, they're fully vested. So it's a nice little savings plan for them. And I think they're all through with it. They need to be reminded that we're only as good as the last customer visit. So make sure it's a good one. It's not always perfect, but we try to make it so.
Now, if you were to go back in time to when you first got involved or started your career, what advice would you have for yourself with all this knowledge you have now?
Spend more time with technology. Yeah, technology and all the disciplines that today you need in business. And we have them. People in finance and accounting, and we have in-house legal. We have in-house real estate, safety, security, all these disciplines that are so vital in a business like ours, and in any business today. But I would think, although we worked very hard, and there wasn't much time when we were starting out, keep your education, keep learning. You're never too old to keep learning. I don't care if you're crocheting. Now, Sean, you're looking at me saying, I hope he's not a crocheting. No, I don't. But I still like to learn. And you learn by a number of ways. There's so many different courses that are taken in the schools, extension courses, the colleges, the reach they have today is enormous. And just reading, being readers. Don't stop reading, you know, and formulate your own opinion. Yeah.
I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
So as we kind of wind down here, for those who would want to find out more about Sullivan Tire, both as the business and also what they stand for, where can they find out more?
Sean, sullivantire.com. Our website has got all the information you'd need. We always have a job application that you can fill out. We have the best benefits in the business, any business today. We have wonderful benefits because, as I mentioned, You have an enormous responsibility when you hire somebody today, because they go home on Friday. They have a family of their own, or intending on growing family. And we want to make sure they're getting ahead as well. So I think that's important for us to realize. And the next generation of leaders, always remember the people, the blue-collar people. You know, they're as important as the people who work in the white-collar sector. So we're all in it together, and that's the way we like it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, I want to say thank you for joining us today on the show. It's been great talking to you.
Sean, thank you. Yeah, this was great. And back here in Marshfield, as I mentioned last time, I was at a football game, you know, with my son, and the school has grown immensely.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's a university, it seems like.
Yeah, it's
you know?
huge.
Yeah. But thanks for having myself and Sullivan Tire here today. And as I say, we're just so proud to be one of many businesses that are in Marshfield and in many other towns that all work hard in trying to serve people, be good to people, and support the town. So there's no magic wand. Work hard. Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Thank you.
Well, folks, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. If you want to learn more about Sullivan Tire, sullivantire.com. They have a location on 139 here in Marshfield. It's iconic green. You can't miss it. They'll do your tires. So thank you, everybody, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Paul.
Yep.